Tesla recalls 11,000 Cybertrucks over windshield wiper issues. Is it a big deal or not? Plus, Rimac, the maker of electric supercars, is now entering the full self-driving autonomous vehicle space. Could they win? Let's take a look. Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. As you might notice, I am not in my regular space. I am actually at my brother's house in Manhattan Beach right now in California. Soon we'll be moving to another house, but first we're going to Santa Barbara. A lot of travel. I am in the LA area. If you happen to be in the LA area and you want to have a coffee or something like that, definitely, message me on X or leave a message in the comments or something like that, and we will try to set something up. And also, before we get to the 11,000 Cybertrucks that are being recalled over windshield wiper issues, if anybody in the South LA area has a Cybertruck and you would like to give a test drive to my sister-in-law who said she would never ever like a Cybertruck, there's no way she could imagine liking it, it would be really fun to do that. I mean, we might not change her mind, but I just thought it would be hysterical to try it out and let her ride around in it, possibly even drive it a few places, something like that. So anyway, if you have access to a Cybertruck in LA, then definitely look me up about that as well. So turning to Tesla recalling 11,000 Cybertrucks over a safety fault in the windshield wiper. Apparently what it was doing was it was wiggling back and forth at highway speeds, which is kind of weird. Tesla thought that they could create a software fix for the problem, but it turns out it's some sort of a hardware issue. So something significant is up with it, and they're obviously having to replace the motor. So this is an actual recall. Things are having to go back to the service center. Fortunately, of course, there's not that many Cybertrucks out yet, and I don't believe it affects all of them by any means. 11,000 is not all of them by any means. But I had caught wind of this a couple of weeks ago from people who said that their trucks were being delayed over windshield wiper issues. So this is not super new news to me, but I didn't really want to report on it until I guess it was sort of official. So onto the article. Regulators' letter reveals vehicles are affected by potentially dangerous windscreen wiper. Tesla is recalling more than 11,000 new Cybertruck electric vehicles after safety regulators found a potentially dangerous fault with its giant windscreen wiper. And if you haven't seen that thing, it's really big. It's, I think, the largest windshield wiper, at least on a passenger vehicle, that I know of. It's an absolutely gigantic beast, and there's only one of them, and it kind of sits upright most of the time instead of tucked down under the vehicle. So it's very, very apparent. If you ever see a Cybertruck, you can't miss the windshield wiper. Anyway, the futuristic truck may also have a trim in the boot improperly attached, the U.S. National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration said as well. This was something I did not know about. I'm not sure if that's part of this recall or whether they're just going to look at it or something like that. But anyway, this is a very new vehicle with a lot of new technology. So obviously there are going to be hiccups along the way as they develop this. We should see fewer and fewer of these recalls over time, I hope, because of course with more cars coming out, you don't really want to have recalls where you have to bring back 200,000 or 300,000 vehicles. That's not so cool. 11,000, not that big a deal. Anyway, continuing on here, in April, Elon Musk's electric vehicle company recalled nearly 4,000 Cybertrucks, whose price starts at $79,990 to fix an accelerator pedal pad that could come loose. That is not actually accurate at this point. Right now, it's $99,990 because you can only buy a foundation series. Eventually, we, of course, will get to the $80,000 version, but currently it's only the foundation series. The 4,000 Cybertrucks recalled then were over an accelerator cover that was over the accelerator, thing that you push your foot down on, and the solution was a fairly ugly silver rivet in the middle of or at the bottom of the accelerator pedal. So it's not an ideal solution. I hope that they have fixed that since then, and we later adopters don't get a silver rivet in the middle of our accelerator pedal because it's rather ugly. And finally, the recall of 11,688 trucks is the latest setback for the vehicle, whose mass production is expected to start next year. Tesla has yet to disclose how many trucks have gone to consumers in its quarterly deliveries and production report. I don't know that we're going to ever know that exactly because I think they lump it with an S and X now. So you can sort of guesstimate what Model S and X sell because that's pretty consistent over time, and then subtract that from the number and get a reasonable estimate of Cybertrucks. But Tesla has not been super forthcoming with exactly how many Cybertrucks have been sold. Obviously, that is the number of Cybertrucks produced minus those in transition, because with over 2 million pre-orders, even if a lot of people canceled, there's still a lot of people who are ordering these things. So obviously, pretty much the number sold is the number produced. As for calling this a setback, yeah, I guess it's a setback, but again, it's really not that unexpected with a completely new technology. Again, this is very, very new stuff. The windshield wiper, of all the weird things, you would think something would go out with the steering, or there'd be an electrical problem with the new 48-volt electrical system or something, but it's the windshield wiper motor of all strange things. And again, I believe that the issue is that at highway speeds, when it's not operational, when it's not doing this kind of thing, it's sitting upright like this, and I gather it starts wiggling back and forth, but only at highway speeds. no idea why. I don't know if that's the wind resistance or something is causing the motor to oscillate independently. Don't know. I don't think it's affecting all of the trucks, so it only seems to be some. So maybe they had multiple motor suppliers, and one of the motor suppliers just created a motor that had a weird little feedback loop or something. Anyway, not a big deal, right? This is the kind of thing where they'll just take care of it, and then the truck will be even better than it was when you first got it. So while yes, this is a bit of a setback, I don't think it's a very large setback. And again, I think that Tesla has done remarkably well considering the amount of new technology in the vehicle, that they've only had a couple of relatively small or minor complaints. And turning from the Cybertruck to the land of autonomous driving, Rimac launches a new autonomous level 4 electric car brand, Verne. So this is really interesting. Rimac is, there are a bunch of incredible geniuses and artists that have created a multi-million-dollar sports car that is absolutely mind-blowingly good and super cool. But of course, incredibly niche product. This is exactly the opposite. This is the kind of thing that I guess it's going to be a competition to Tesla's Cybercab. And the goal of it is to be mass-produced, and it's a two-seater vehicle, which again sounds just like the Cybercab is probably going to be, and it sounds like it's going to operate like that, and it's very intentionally level 4 autonomy here. So let's read this article by Fred Lambert, and of course I will leave a link to all these things in the description, and then after that I'll discuss the particulars about what I think about this. So first of all, Mate Rimac, founder of Rimac, launched a new level 4 autonomous electric car brand called Verne, and coming to market in 2026. I think it's Verne, it could be Verne, but I think it's Verne. Rimac is best known for its electric hypercar, the Nevera, and for its surprising takeover of Bugatti through its partnership with Porsche. But now it is stepping into the other side of the EV spectrum, which really is true, it's the other side. From hypercars to autonomous vehicles. Mate Rimac, along with two other Rimac executives, have launched a new brand called Verne. It's not clear how the Rimac group plays into this beyond sharing employees, but it sounds like it is part of it, as the brand was launched at Rimac's headquarters in Croatia today. Verne is using Mobileye's Level 4 autonomy system, and therefore its core technology is more the vehicle platform than the autonomous driving system. So we'll get back to this highlighted blue section in just a minute, but first, they wrote about the new vehicle. The vehicle is built on a completely new platform designed around safety and comfort, engineered solely for autonomous driving using the Mobileye Drive autonomous platform. It is completely rethought, conceived, designed, and engineered as a safe and comfortable autonomous vehicle. Built from the ground up, it is free from the compromises and disadvantages necessary in using a legacy platform built for human driving. So this part is worth calling out because built from the ground up, it's free from compromises. Yes, anything that's a legacy car that has a steering wheel, pedals, all of that kind of stuff, and is built for human drivers is going to have a compromise. It's going to be compromised for autonomous vehicle uses. So I think it's actually a really good idea that they're talking about here. Then we get some pictures of the Verne. So you can see, I don't know if these are renders or if these, it doesn't really say, it just says pictures. So I don't know if they're renders or a prototype or something. Making the car versus actually, creating a render or even creating a prototype is quite a different thing. But of course, obviously, they're pretty far down in the weeds in terms of the design of this thing. You can see that the two doors actually look like they're autonomously opening and closing, which is a good idea for a Cybercab because you can't count on people to close the doors. So it looks like they kind of slide forward and out like this to get in and then slide forward and back. And there's probably also a hatchback on it. Well, actually, you can see the hatchback right there. So anyway, so it's got a hatchback. It's obviously a very, very small vehicle. So it's going to be lightweight. It's going to be able to go a long ways on a small battery. It should be able to charge relatively quickly. Looks very spacious on the interior. It also looks like you can lean back really, really far, so you can actually use it as kind of a restful area. You can think of it as an airplane seat that can lean way back. It's like first class, not coach class in an airplane. So it looks pretty nice in terms of that. Of course, you've got an application that it works with. Then you've got the vehicle from the front, which actually looks very, very nice. Got it from the side. It's got a ridiculously large screen, another screen as well, and it sounds like it's very customizable, so when you get in the vehicle, it knows who you are, and it configures itself to what you want. So anyway, as you can see, it's a two-seater car built around the passenger experience since the vehicle is driverless. Obviously, there is no steering wheel, no brake pedal, no accelerator, things like that. There's an extensive sound system and a giant screen, yes, definitely giant screen, with a UI built for a variety of passenger experiences. It is built for ride-hailing systems with a high level of customization. Verne says that the customers are going to be able to customize the experience via an app before the vehicle arrives. It's a re-envisioning of the ride-hailing app and mobility platform. The customers can personalize the vehicle settings via app before ordering a ride. That way the vehicle will be set exactly how you like it with the comfort, lighting, temperature, and even scent. And that's interesting. Even though the customer will never own the vehicle, it will be tailored to feel like your own. And that I think is a really good point. I like that idea of using software to define the vehicle and to make it feel like your own. It just changes itself to you every time you get into it. On the back end, Verne uses all the benefits an autonomous connected fleet provides to make the service run smoothly and efficiently in every city. Verne is going to launch first in Zagreb in 2026, and the company plans to expand in Europe and the Middle East shortly after. The company claims to already have deals with 11 cities. So we'll start with the release date. That's 2026. That's Zagreb. That's not going to be very competitive with Tesla, who is obviously looking at the North American market first and possibly China second. 2026 doesn't say exactly when. If we're talking December 2026, that could be up to 2.5 years from now, so that's quite a while. And of course, Verne doesn't really have complete control over this widget. They have to deal with Mobileye, which is why I said we were going to get back to that blue highlighted paragraph. Mobileye is creating the hardware and the software that will actually drive the vehicle, which means that Verne is going to be dependent on Mobileye for actually creating the solution that will actually drive the car. And that means that any delays on Mobileye's part inevitably will mean a delay in the Verne. So hopefully Mobileye will be able to roll this out in time and make it work on time and make it work appropriately and level 4 and all of that other good stuff. But if they're unable to, Verne is not going to be able to move forward very quickly with this build out, and they're going to have to wait on Mobileye to actually solve those problems before they're able to release the car into the wild. So is this significant competition for Tesla? Yeah, in a way it is, but I think Tesla is going to be looking at doing the first actual autonomous vehicle rides probably at the end of this year, at the end of 2024. Remember, the Robotaxi reveal event happens in August 8th, which is just over a month from now, and there's a chance that they might actually do some autonomous rides during that actual event. But I think the likelihood is that on some sort of significant scale, like in San Francisco or something, it's more likely to be the end of 2024. But still, we're looking at possibly up to 2 years ahead of where Verne is. As for the car itself, obviously we haven't seen the Tesla Cybercab interior or a complete rendition of the vehicle yet, but the Verne actually looks really, really nice. It's a beautiful interior. It's obviously well designed. It's well thought out. I don't know how much it's going to cost. It might end up being rather expensive. One of the big benefits that Tesla has is they're able to roll out vehicles very, very cost effectively because they're able to mass manufacture them in a very efficient manner, whereas Rimac, its tradition is, handcrafted, beautiful, but also rather expensive. So there's a big question about how much those vehicles will cost. And while cost isn't the end of the world for a Robotaxi, because of course it makes that money back over time, it does have some effect because of course it takes longer for those vehicles to make the money back. And of course, if you can't mass manufacture them effectively, that causes problems for the rollout because you just can't produce enough for the market demand. So Verne is really interesting. I love the fact that there's some competition out there. I think the car looks beautiful. I'm a little bit worried about the fact that they're partnered with Mobileye, although they are probably the best outside of China or Tesla to partner with. But I worry that Mobileye's solution will not be really in place by 2026. And in terms of mass manufacturability and everything like that, that remains to be seen. That car looks kind of difficult to mass manufacture. On the good end of things for them, they're going to start in Zagreb and then they're going to move to the Middle East and Europe, which is a place that Tesla is not really competing in yet. So they could carve themselves a slice of market in that area before Tesla or the Chinese actually get there. So that's much to their benefit. Anyway, it's really, really cool to see another player enter the space. I'm all for Rimac having some success. I think the car looks beautiful. Fingers crossed it will actually work. As for competition with Tesla, yeah, maybe eventually they'll butt heads against each other, but right now they're kind of playing in different sandboxes. Tesla is almost inevitably going to get there first, which will give them a huge advantage, but they're also playing primarily in North America and then looking at China secondarily. So I think that Rimac and Verne actually have a chance to get into the space and make a name for themselves and actually take some market share. So that'll be really, really cool. So that's what I've got for all of you today. Again, if you have a Cybertruck in the LA area, definitely let me know. Or if you work for SpaceX or Tesla or X or any of those companies out here, I am available to have a chat, buy you guys a coffee, maybe do a YouTube video or something like that. So definitely let me know that as well. In the meantime, everybody have a lovely day and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.